All right, hey folks, thanks for your interest in the Church Planners Academy. This is Doug, and I'm chatting with Suzanne Castle. Suzanne is going to be one of our instructors this year, and we're really glad to have her. She's going to be new with us this year in our second Church Planters Academy. Suzanne, tell us a little bit about the church that you're involved in. You're in the Fort Worth area, is that right?
Right.
Called The
I am.
Search.
I serve a congregation called The Search. Fondly, we say we're seeking the sacred together. And we were formed out of a very traditional Disciples of Christ congregation that serves Texas
Hmm.
Christian University. So, a very large Disciples of Christ congregation is right across from us. Literally, we're on the campus.
Oh,
And we have, I don't know, a group of college students got together and said we want
uh-huh.
something different on Sunday evenings. So it's primarily college students, but we now have a lot of artists and prostitutes, drug addicts, yuppies,
Really?
parents,
They probably
retired
collaborate on a few things, huh? Be
clergy,
good.
babies. It is the most odd group of people
Yeah.
who ever come together on a Sunday evening that really are trying to figure out what it means to be in a world that doesn't always look like them, but together are really trying to follow what Jesus has said that we're
Hmm.
to do together. And so we gather every Sunday evening and figure out what that means, usually with a wide variety of artistic endeavors. And
Mhm.
we argue a lot and share life together and have communion, which is the one thing that brings us together every week. It's really fascinating. I say often to them, I don't know why you're here, but I'm
Yeah.
really glad that you are. So
A-
it's a good group of
And
folk.
your role there, you refer to yourself as the worship architect.
I do. That's what I call myself as
Uh,
the worship architect.
who else is involved with you in the church, or in, I don't know, having
I
titles like worship architect or other names?
I have a seminary intern that works with
Hmm.
us. We're close to Bright Divinity School, and
Hmm.
so we have a seminary intern that works with me. I have a production staff of that are all part time in web,
Yeah,
social media, lighting,
yeah.
sound, those sorts of things. But primarily, it's myself with a huge
Mm,
committed group of lay folk
yeah.
that just are passionate about figuring out how to express Jesus in the world. So it's really fascinating and wonderful.
And tell us a little bit about the history of the search. Were you part of the starting of it? Was it something already going that you stepped into?
Well, it actually was started, but not as the search, and was kind of a disaster, if for
Uh-huh.
lack of a better word. It was more like a camp worship. So
Oh yeah.
25 guitars on a stage, more people on the stage leading worship than actually
Oh boy.
attending worship, kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So the senior minister at that time stopped it, and they went into a period of discernment. And in that discernment, they found me and
Mm,
hired me away from another new church start that I had done and brought me in, and we totally changed how we were doing it. Kind of talked to community leaders and members and went out in the world,
mm.
spent a lot of time in bars to figure out maybe what the community of Fort Worth needed as a church, and restarted as the search. And so we are now 6.5 years old, and
Uh-huh.
loving every minute of what we do. So
Great.
it's super fun.
And I would imagine that this effort, this start or restart or however you call it, is a little different than the church start that you did previously. So you've learned a few things.
I have. I was part of I've done church starts in California, a different one in Texas, and this one. So this is my third.
Yeah.
And each one has their own fingerprint, I should say, kind of their organic model of how they need to be. And yeah, I think you learn by your third time how to manage your burnout and your energy level, and how to rely on your folk, that you don't need to be the savior riding in on the horse, you know.
Mm,
So
great. And now, is this what you do for your full-time work? Is the do you get paid at the search for all of your living expenses?
Well, yes and no. I'm on staff in a larger capacity at University Christian Church.
Hmm.
So the search is one part of my
I
work there,
see.
but my primary ministry is all worship. So I'm a liturgical theologian by trade, and so I also have responsibility for art in the church. We have an art gallery, and for the traditional worship services as well.
Yeah, great. And I know that if people wanted to refer to you as the Reverend Doctor, they're able to do that. You are a person of many
Scary.
titles. Yeah, that's awesome. Where did you do that studying? Did you do it in conjunction with worship and church leadership to become
I
a revered doctor?
Oh, right. Yes. No, not revered whatsoever. More scary.
Uh-huh.
I actually went to seminary at Claremont School of Theology in California, and then I found myself needing to, I don't know, be a little more maybe taken seriously. And so, after a period of discernment, I had been working with Robert Weber, and he asked me to be a part of what he did with the Institute of Worship Studies. And right before his death, I decided to take the leap and be a part of that. And so, I actually got my doctorate through the Institute of Worship Studies. So, yes,
Wow.
it's a grand adventure all the time.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, Suzanne, we're really excited that you're going to be part of the Church Planners Academy.
Me
It's
too. Thank
August
you.
15th to the 17th. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been to Minneapolis?
I haven't. I'm glad I get to come in the summer rather than the winter.
I hope it's summer by then.
Me too.
It's been a tough winter around here. Well, Suzanne, we're thrilled to have you, and people can find information about you and how to be connected over at the Church Planters Academy. So, hey friends, join Suzanne at the Church Planters Academy August 15th to the 17th of 2013 in the beautiful and perhaps warm Minneapolis, Minnesota. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, right on. Thanks.